Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming. This is the Ubisoft Corner Hour. We're going to talk about Ubisoft. Yes, it's their news hour. We've officially made a news hour just for Ubisoft, and this is their time to shine, because Ubisoft is always in the news doing something wacky. So what have they done this time? Well, a couple things, so we're just going to mix some things in here. So, Ubisoft has ended support for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That game was already on live support, so they decided to pull the plug. And now it's done. This is, if you remember Breakpoint came out after Wildlands, and Wildlands, which was a pretty good game, Breakpoint was a really crappy version of Wildlands. So, then they decided they're going to make NFTs off of it, right? Remember those? And now, basically, the NFT time frame and then Breakpoint, they're all ending and dying and crashing. Both of them were on live support when they came out, and they decided to pull the plug on both. So they're both dead now. But the good news is they're making another Ghost Recon game. So a new Ghost Recon game is in production. Is it Breakpoint 2.0? Is it maybe Ghost Recon Quartz? Because that's their NFTs. They're just going to shine them in. They're just going to sprinkle them all throughout there. You got to go find the quartz, and then maybe you'll find a cool NFT in a loot box somewhere out in the world. We don't know much about the new Ghost Recon game, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And the last but not least thing that we're going to talk about is Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft had decided, let's bring that to mobile, because why not? So Rainbow Six Mobile is what they're calling it, even though it's basically Rainbow Six Siege, but on the mobile side. Okay, whatever. I guess you decided to put another thing on live support because, I mean, I don't know. I understand Ubisoft. The mobile market is big, but come on. We're going to really do like a 6v6 Rainbow Six Siege on your tablet or your Android or iPhone. I mean, someone's waiting in the ER room playing Rainbow Six. Hold on, get to him, guys. Just stupid. So that's what Ubisoft's up to. All sorts of quacky things. They're always doing something weird. They aren't making games like, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Or what is that? Skull and Bones? No, I mean they say they're making them, and Skull and Bones is entering into a beta or alpha mode. But those games have been in development for an Ice Age now. So who knows when or if they'll ever come to fruition? They're just gonna stick with what can we do to screw our franchises up? I know, mobile games and NFTs. So Ubisoft has found the light. They have a come to Jesus moment, and they decided Jesus wants to make money. So that's what they decided to do. And so, yeah, that's insane. What do you think, Pat, about all this crazy news?
I don't know. Ubisoft is coming down off the meth bender is what it sounds like. They took the whole 8-ball. They're coming down off of that now, and they're like, what the hell did we do? And so now they're making Ghost Recon Break Wet or Wet Break or who knows what they're going to call it. But what I want to know is what the hell are going to happen to all your NFTs? What's going to happen to the quartz? Are they going to port that in the next game? Or are they just going to come out with Ghost Recon back to the original that we all loved? Because Breakpoint was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. All fans thought this. I think it had like a less than 40% approval rate or something. It was pretty low, 2 out of 5 score, less than a 5 on most of the review sites. So we weren't in the minority on this game of hating this game. It was bad. We all bought it and we all played it. So we gave Ubisoft some money. But it was more of the same as Wetlands, but worse. I don't know how that could ever happen. You made a game that's kind of close to the same as the original one, but it somehow turned out worse, probably because it wasn't really different enough or groundbreaking. Because we all played Wetlands. We played quite a bit of Wetlands. I'm not even sure we gave Breakpoint a full weekend. I think we played it for a full day, and in the half of the second day, we go, why the hell are we still playing this? And it moved on to something else. I really want to know. But my biggest thing is I really want to know what's going to happen with all those people who purchased Quartz stuff now that Ubisoft has killed this. Because I read that they're still going to be putting out Quartz type items. skins and armor and models and stuff. And I'm like, who wants to buy that crap for a game that is on, they're pulling the plug on? Who wants to buy that crap? Why would you buy that crap? The game is ending support, which means no new maps, no new nothing, no new content. It's just going to live in its existence for however long the servers stay running. And then when the servers are gone, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Ubisoft's model is now everything in Quartz is going to get ported over to their new games. I hope not, because that means that they've just screwed themselves into a huge hole of development hell and nightmare, that everything has to be ported over, that people have purchased this Quartz program that everybody, by the way, is telling Ubisoft you're a freaking idiot for buying into. But Ubisoft is on that meth vendor, they don't care at this point. Now, when they come down, they're going to have to face the music, along with picking up some missing teeth and, and all that good stuff. That's really what I want to know. What's going to happen to all this stuff, and what's going to be the new Ghost Recon? Are they going to stick with the Breakpoint and Wetlands fiasco, or are they going to go back to Ghost Recon roots that we all loved? I'm not saying Wetlands is a bad idea, but we've had enough of that style, Ubisoft. We don't want you to Assassin's Creed the hell out of every game in your inventory, So what's next for this? I'm hoping we go back to our roots and we get more of the cooperative, really like Ghost Recon tactical style game that we had. And I feel so dirty for even talking about Rainbow Six Mobile, because that's such a freaking horrible idea. But you know what? Fortnite did it, so Ubisoft's got to do it. I mean, how much backlash did they get for the game? I don't think they ever released it, right? They had their own little Fortnite style game, MOBA game or whatever, that, a battle royale game, not MOBA, battle royale game that they were talking about putting out. Was that X-Defiant? I can't remember the name of that now. Hyperscape. There we go. Did that ever come out?
Yes, I know it was out for, I want to say about 2 years, but it shut down, I think, toward the end of 2021.
I gotcha. They got so much pushback when they announced that, and I don't even think it ever really did anything for them. Obviously not. It shut down, right?
Unless you're talking about X-Defiant.
It might be X-Defiant. Wasn't that the one that's supposed to come out that they got huge backlash?
They had the Tom Clancy name to it, and then now it no longer has the Tom Clancy name. It's just X-Defiant now.
All right, yeah, that's the one I'm pretty sure I'm talking about. The one that's supposed to come out here, that it was already supposed to be out, but then they got huge backlash on this game, and people don't want any more battle royale games. We've got them. Ubisoft, what do you think you can do better than Epic has done and PUBG has done with Fortnite and PUBG? What do you think you can do better than these guys do? I mean, Ubisoft is next thing you know, they're going to be getting into some esports StarCraft thing next. Who knows? And they seem to not be able to think for themselves and come up with their own genre and cool idea. They're like, I like that. That's going to be in my game, because we aren't original thinkers anymore. We like to take other people's ideas to make money and make our own money that ends up turning into a pile of crap. They don't have the Midas touch. They have the dog shit touch. Everything they turn into dog shit. Because, just Ghost Recon, they have Tom Clancy's name attached to so much stuff that was great. And how do you make more games that just keep turning out worse than the original? And then you think that's so great, we're going to keep doing it. I love Division. Division was a great game. The subsequent Division 2, etc., was boring. It wasn't great. What did you got? How can you screw something like that up is what I want to know. But we're all seeing it with Ghost Recon. I don't know what to tell you. And then somebody thought Rainbow Six Mobile was a good idea. That should tell you how messed up they really are. I never once heard somebody say, I wish I could play Rainbow Six with my thumbs. Just my thumbs. I don't want to use any of these other buttons. I want to play Rainbow Six with just my thumbs and a flat screen. Somebody said that was a good idea. Yeah, on the toilet. Yeah. We already have ideas for that. You can take a controller to the bathroom with that streaming service that everybody has if you want to. But they thought that's too much hassle. I'm just going to bring my phone to the bathroom. My legs are going to fall asleep and I'm going to have to fall off the toilet and crawl out of the bathroom, So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the mobile. I'm not a fan of anything that they've announced so far. I'm really hoping that they take Ghost Recon back to the roots. But Nick, what do you think, man? Are you excited for the next Ghost Recon? Are you going to transfer those quartz items you bought over to the next game?
I did not buy any quartz. But if I did, I would hope they would come over to the next game. Yeah, and what's funny is the new Ghost Recon's code name is Over. And I should tell you something, Ubisoft, maybe it's over for this franchise. You're exactly right. You got to bring it back to what it originally was. I mean, I don't know where I can't think of where the turn was for Ubisoft. You know, there was a point in time where, for me personally, and I think for all of us, where when a Ubisoft title was coming out, that was like, oh my God, a Ubisoft's game coming out. Like, I can't wait, because they were so unique with their IPs and their games and just like trying new stuff. And you were excited to see a Ubisoft game come out. Nowadays, it's almost like a joke. Like, you see a new Assassin's Creed or a new Ghost Recon or a Rainbow Six, and like, it's just not going to be the same. It's a joke at this point, right? And that's what they've turned into as a company, is a joke. I feel like, they have good franchises, good IPs like Beyond Good and Evil, and and Beyond Good and Evil was announced like 10 years ago or something like that. With that, it's felt like that long with that cinematic trailer, and we haven't seen anything since. They swear up and down that it's still in production, but I'm not sure about that. And then, Ghost Recon. Yeah, you're exactly right. They with the NFTs with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, they've practically dug themselves into a hole at this point, especially for this game, right? Because the whole idea of NFTs is to be able to bring whatever you buy in that game over to the next game. That would mean everything that you sell, right? Otherwise, it's false advertising and then not really how your NFTs work. So you have to bring all that over, which means at least the Ghost Recon games are stuck in a limbo where every single one is going to have to be designed similar to the last, right? And so now you've just kind of screwed yourself over that, unless you want to make a spinoff that does not utilize those NFTs. But then what are you going to do about those people who are upset that they bought this NFT that turns out to be, which it already was to begin with, but it turns out to be worthless, right? The thing with NFTs and video games is we already have that. It's called DLC, right? We already have it. It's called DLC. All you're doing now is you're piecemealing the same. All you're doing is you're taking that DLC, which usually combines, not always, but usually combines like 5 or 10 items, and you're just piecemealing them out, right? And making people auction for them. When you've had this before, games have done this for years now, and it's called DLCs. I mean, how many games sell a DLC for a title that's just like a skin for whatever? Fortnite does it now, right? I mean, they don't have NFTs, but you go to their shops and you can buy a Candy Cane skin for your gun. And that's essentially the same idea. No, you don't own the blockchain for it, but who gives a crap? No one else, everybody else that wants that Candy Cane version of your gun has already bought in that piece. Really, I just don't understand NFTs. And Ubisoft, it feels like they're just trying to make a buck wherever they can, right? And if that means screwing over their fans and their franchises to do so, they will do it. They're like turning into EA at this point, right? Just whatever they can do to make a buck is what they're going to do. They don't care about quality of their games or their fans or bringing out new IPs or trying something new. They're trying something new with Skull and Bones, but we're seeing how that's going. They're trying something new with Beyond Good and Evil, but we're seeing how that's going. And they're just going back to their tried and true, right? X Defiant that you talked about, that's mark my words, more than likely, right? I can't be 100%, but that game is dead on arrival. It's DOA. That game will not, it'll come out and go, and it'll die because nobody wants it, right? Nobody wants it. No one, I until somebody brings it up, I forget that game even exists. It's supposed to come out sometime soon or something like that. They have a new Division coming out at some point, call them Homeland or something like that. And I think it's a mobile game. From last time I remember is that one was we thought it was going to be like a spin-off of the Division made by someone else, but I could have sworn last thing I heard is it was actually a mobile game of the Division. So That may or may not be true. I can't remember, but I thought that's what last thing I heard from it. But we haven't heard of Homeland. I mean, I haven't heard anything from Homeland in a while, so we don't know if that's still coming out. Now, granted, that one's not being developed by Ubisoft. That was published by Ubisoft, but being developed by somebody else. I can't remember who.
I think it's Red Storm, isn't it?
Red Storm? Okay. Well, I think Red Storm. Well, at least I thought they were owned by Ubisoft, but
they are. They're an Ubisoft studio. Okay.
So there we go. And it's probably is a mobile game, right? It either was a mobile game or was it only or a single player only type of thing. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's still like we've heard I think it's Heartland or whatever, but yeah, we've heard very little of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened, Ubisoft? What happened? I don't know what happened to you, but go to treatment, get yourself clean and come back strong. Cause you're really just, I feel like as a developer, and a publisher, that Ubisoft is just killing themselves, right? I mean, they're just slowly going down the drain. At this point, besides those dedicated Siege players, the Assassin's Creed and the Far Cry's do pretty well sales wise and stuff like that. But I think as I read online and Reddit and various other things, online with other gamers and stuff, they're getting tired of these titles. Like these titles are not doing as well. Like I think Far Cry 6, while it did fairly well, I don't think it did as well as like Far Cry 5 and the other versions. Breakpoint didn't do so hot. Siege is still going strong, and it will because it has that competitive player base. But Siege Mobile, how's that going to do? I don't know. I mean that PC and console player base for Siege, are they going to transition into the mobile side of it? I don't know. That's to be determined. I know mobile brings a lot of money, so I can understand why they want to, but I hate when developers take a franchise and they're like, we're going to put it even like Blizzard, like we're going to put Diablo on mobile. It's like, don't put Diablo on mobile. You're making Diablo 4, which is great. Just make that. And don't worry about the mobile. We don't want mobile. There's plenty of mobile games out there that, it's more for the casual market. I mean, I consider us like hardcore gamers, right? If you want to consider yourself a hardcore gamer, we play all sorts of games and game all day long. The one thing I don't game on is my phone. I can't. I love video games and I play them on everything, but my mobile phone, I have games on it. When was the last time I played it? When I first installed it, and probably for the first 5 minutes after I installed it is probably as long as I played it. And that's about the gist of the mobile game. It's still installed on my phone. I'm thinking that I'll go back and play it at some point, but I won't. So, yeah. What are you doing, Ubisoft? Quit making the wrong decisions.
Yep. They've lost their drive to try anything new. I mean, I guess when your track record is like 12 Assassin's Creed game with 17 spinoffs, you've lost your way. I mean, I can't say anything else besides how the hell do you end up with 12 main story games and 17 spinoffs for a series and still think it's viable? I mean, you're not The Simpsons, You're not going to get 30 years out of this thing. They're trying. But I'll admit, the last Far Cry, I have bought every Far Cry. The last Far Cry is by far really boring and just I was like, this looks kind of cool. And then you get in and you get to bigger islands, but we make a joke about it, but they Ubisoft the hell out of it. Collect this, collect that, collect this, collect that. Go do this, go do that, go collect this, progress the storyline. You can't progress the story because you need to do a little bit more on this island, unlock a percentage. And I'm like, no, screw you. And then, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was just more of the same. It was kind of cool at first. I'm like, this is interesting. They did a new spin on it. But then you get out there and you're like, no, they really didn't. It's still the same thing. It's just Ubisoft is afraid to do what they used to do. Tell great stories, create new genres, create new types of games and stories. Now all they do is pump out Assassin's Creed and as many Tom Clancy games as they can to basically mooch off of that, and then it's just them, right? I mean, they're not making anything. As Nick had pointed out, Skull and Bones has been in development and redevelopment and changed. It's changed its underwear probably more times than any newborn that's not been born yet that I know about. It has a huge identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be a PvP multiplayer game or a cool little co-op shooter game or what. It has an identity crisis, and it seems to be stuck in development hell. It doesn't know what it wants to be. And then we all loved, and we're asking Ubisoft for a sequel to a game, which should be right in their wheelhouse, for Good and Evil 2 forever. And we're not getting that. It's the crap we don't want. So we're the infants, and they're saying you need to eat your string peas and trying to feed us the peas when we want the carrots. You know, I don't get these guys. The stuff that we want more of, they're not willing to stick their necks out for it. They're like, you know what? We know what makes us money, and we know what you idiots will buy. And we do it. We buy their time. I bought Far Cry 6. I regret it. It was garbage. I didn't play it nearly as enough. I bought Valhalla. We all did, because it was like one of those early next-gen games, and we all did. And I probably put the least amount of time in any Assassin's Creed mainline game in that game than any of the others. I don't know about Nick, but you know, Splinter Cell's supposed to be coming out, you know, and they're going to make a standalone version on consoles and all this stuff, but then they're going to make an Oculus version, and nobody wants the X-Defiant garbage, and they're supposed to be making a Star Wars game, which I don't know. Who knows? I can go hours about how they failed as coming out with anything new. It's nothing new that we haven't spoken of before, but I really feel like the management team or the leadership in Ubisoft is just sitting up in the penthouse snorting coke and taking mess, just freaking going to town on the meth, because ain't nobody steering that ship. It's friggin' falling off, nosediving, and they're sleeping in their own vomit up there. I don't know. They're up there going, hey guys, what's the next game? And they're like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed 59, and their development team
Watch Dogs 4.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want anything after Legion. We're going to do Watch Dogs. Oh, that would be horrible. I bet that's somewhere in their development room floor. There's some guy laying puke and spilled bourbon going, Watch Dog, yeah, that's what we're doing next. And somebody's recording and going, hey, that VP said we're doing another Watch Dog, guys. And the guys below on the down floor, they don't care as long as the money keeps rolling in. They keep getting paid. They're going to pump out whatever those top execs keep saying. Everybody wants another Watch Dog. You know what I said we want? Nobody ever wants a new Trivial Pursuit. But Ubisoft says you do.
Ubisoft says you do. They say you want Just Dance every year, which does pretty well for them.
Yep.
And they make Watch Dogs. I surprised they even got. Truly, I mean, I'm surprised Watch Dogs has gotten to 3 and didn't die at 1. That game has never been good in any of them. I've played all 3. I've bought in all 3. Okay, so I'm part of the problem. And I played all 3, not to completion, because I can't make it to the end, because those games are super horrible. They're just bad. And they have progressively gotten worse. I mean, I think 2 is better than 1, but that's not saying a lot. So, and 3 was just bad. So yeah, it's like, quit with the Watch Dogs, but they're going to make a Watch Dogs 4. Why? I don't know. It's like the franchises that suck, they want to make more of. And the franchises that people want, they're like, nah, we don't. You're exactly right. They're passed out drunk in their own vomit, just reliving the heydays of Watch Dogs and Ghost Recons and NFTs and junk like that. I mean,
their Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite, when he's talking about his heydays in the football and he chasses the steak, that's them. Hey, watch this. I could throw a football over that mountain. Watch me. I'll sell 1 million copies of the next Assassin's Creed. Watch me, because we're all idiots. I mean, I'm in the same boat. What's that comic strip with the guy poking the thing with a stick, and he says, come on, do something. And we're all just sitting around buying Ubisoft's crap going, do something different. But yet we're feeding into it because we're like, maybe they did something different. Maybe they did something cool. And you're like, nope, still smells like cheap cigar and wine in here. They bought the cheap bourbon. the bathroom, what you get in the bottle, the $5 bottle, you go to the gas station, $5 bourbon and a cheap cigar, they couldn't even afford the good stuff. But they're like, hey, I'm selling 1 million copies of this. They'll eat it up. We keep eating it up. The only way it's going to happen is when we stop buying the next Assassin's Creed and the next, the next anything that they put out that's number 27 in the series.
Yeah, stop with the Assassin's Creed. Stop with the Tom Clancy games for now. And stop with the Assassin's Creed games for now. Don't ever make a Watch Dogs game again. And make something new, Ubisoft. Focus on Good and Evil and the Skull and Bones, and start making some new properties. Like drop Tom Clancy for a while. Drop Clancy off at the daycare and let him sit there for a while, and then Assassin's Creed, just assassinate that for right now, because every iteration of that game is, Valhalla was not good. It was not good. I didn't play very much of it. Odyssey and Origin were like, for in a long time span, were like two of your best ones, right? And not compared to like the originals, like 1 and 2 and stuff like that, which 2 especially, which was really good. But Assassin's Origins and Odyssey were great. They were fantastic games. And then I don't know what you did. You're just like, those were great and really well received. Awesome. Throw it away. No one likes it. That's what they say. We're going to make this Valhalla where we're just going to scrap all that good stuff and just, all the stuff that was bad, we're going to leave all that in there. I don't know. I didn't like Valhalla. I didn't find Valhalla that fun. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what Ubisoft, but this is what they're bringing. We're getting rid of the old Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It's out the door. We got a new Ghost Recon Operation Over. It's over for Ghost Recon because we got another one coming. And Rainbow Six Siege Mobile, or Rainbow Six Mobile. I'm sorry. It's basically Siege. There's a video out there. You can watch it if you want to see what it looks like. It basically looks like Siege, but you can play it on your phone now. So while you're taking a poop, you can bust down some walls with a sledgehammer. Pat, do you have anything else to say about this?
No, Ubisoft needs to go back to what they used to be good at, making great story-driven games and making new games that are new IPs. But at some point, they're the salesman that has rested on their laurels, right? They got that stipend coming in. They're like, hey, I sold these 100 customers in my heyday, and they just keep coming back and paying me their maintenance fees. I'm just going to live on that. That's Ubisoft right now. Somehow that ship needs to hit the shore, and they need to offload all that dead weight and bring some new fresh talent on with new ideas.
For sure. Amen to that. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and make sure to like this video. Also, make sure to comment down below. Let us know what you think of Ubisoft. Put the axe to Breakpoint, but also coming out with a new one called Operation Over for right now. And then Rainbow Six Mobile. Are you a mobile player? Is this exciting to you? Me and Patrick and Shane, we're not really big mobile guys. Shane does like his Candy Crush, but that's about it. But we're not big on that, so we're not really looking forward to Rainbow Six Mobile, but you might be, and that's okay if you are. But does this appeal to you? Do you want to be in play that online with your buddies and being on a phone or tablet or something like that? So let us know what you think. And what do you think Ubisoft's, if Ubisoft to you is going in the right direction, or maybe to you, you're like us and you feel like they're going in the wrong direction. But definitely let us know in the comments down below. We like to hear from you guys and your opinions on these different subjects. Other than that, make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with new videos that we do all the time. But we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.